The empty mason jar sat on my dresser like a punch to the gut. My hands trembled as I counted the air where $15,950 should have been. 3 years of double shifts, 3 years of ramen noodles, 3 years of, sorry, I can't afford to go out, all gone. And there, scattered across the hallway like breadcrumbs leading to disaster, were shopping bags, Nordstrom, Saks, Neiman Marcus. Each one might as well have had my sister Ashley's name embroidered in gold. I'm Jamie Carey, and I'm 29 years old. If you'd told me a year ago I'd be living back in my childhood bedroom, starting over after my divorce, saving every penny for my dream bakery, I would have laughed. But life has a way of humbling you. What I didn't expect was my 26-year-old sister to humble me even further by stealing my entire savings while I was working a 12-hour shift at the hospital. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. Ashley walked through the front door just as Dad's car pulled into the driveway, 3 days early from his business trip. She was wearing what I can only describe as an outfit that cost more than most people's rent. The designer sunglasses alone probably cost $1,000. She saw me standing there, holding the empty jar, and her lips curved into this smug little smile. She was waiting for me to explode, waiting for me to scream, cry, have the meltdown she'd probably been anticipating since she took the money. But I didn't. I just smiled back. The confusion on her face was almost worth the 3 years of savings. Almost. "What's wrong with you?" she asked, setting down another shopping bag, this one from some boutique I'd never heard of. "Aren't you going to freak out?" "Why would I freak out?" I asked, my voice steady as a surgeon's hand. Dad's key turned in the lock. "You need to understand something about Ashley. After Mom died when I was 15 and she was 12, Dad couldn't bear to see her sad. One designer purse to dry her tears became 2, became a credit card with no limit, became a 26-year-old woman who'd never held a job for more than a week. Meanwhile, I became the responsible one, studying, working, the daughter who didn't need attention because she had her life together. For 3 years after my divorce from Brad, who, by the way, had just started texting me again last week, probably because his new girlfriend dumped him, I'd been rebuilding everything. Every dollar from my nursing job that didn't go to basic expenses went into that jar. I worked holidays, picked up shifts nobody wanted, even did home care on weekends. My coworker, Lisa, kept telling me I was crazy, that banks existed for a reason, but there was something about physically seeing the money grow that kept me motivated. The morning it disappeared, I should have known something was wrong. Ashley had been hovering around my room, asking about my schedule with an interest she'd never shown before. She'd even complimented my scrubs, which should have been red flag number 1. Ashley thought my job was gross and never missed a chance to mention it. "Oh, Jamie," she'd said at breakfast, spreading organic almond butter on artisan bread that Dad bought specially for her. "You work so hard. When do you ever have fun?" "When I open my bakery," I'd replied, rushing out the door for my shift. The text from my bank came while I was inserting an IV. "Unusual activity detected on your account." But it wasn't my bank account, it was my peace of mind that had been robbed. The shopping receipts I found later told the whole story. Louis Vuitton at 10:47 a.m., Chanel at 11:30, Burberry at 12:15. She'd hit every luxury store in the mall like some kind of designer tornado. There were charges for things I had to Google to understand. What the hell is a culotte jumpsuit? Brad's text that evening read, "Heard about your sister. Need to talk?" Even my ex knew about Ashley's shopping spree before I got home. Small-town gossip travels faster than Ashley's credit card swipes. Dad stood in the doorway, his face unreadable. His business trip to Seattle was supposed to last another 3 days, but here he was, looking between Ashley and me like he was solving a math equation. "Girls," he said slowly, setting down his briefcase, "we need to talk." Ashley immediately went into performance mode. "Daddy!" Jamie's being dramatic again. "You know how she gets about money. I borrowed a little bit for some essentials, and I'll pay her back when—" $15,950, I interrupted, my voice calm as a lake before a storm. "That's very specific amount, isn't it, Dad?" His eyebrows rose slightly. Ashley's confidence flickered like a candle in wind. You see, what Ashley didn't know, what she never bothered to find out in her rush to grab and spend, was that this wasn't just my savings. 2 months ago, Dad had come to me with an unusual request. He'd handed me exactly $15,950 in cash with specific instructions. Hold on to it, don't tell Ashley, and wait for his signal. He said it was for her nursing school tuition, but he wanted to teach her about responsibility first. The money was supposed to be revealed at a family dinner next week, presented as her chance to finally make something of herself. If you're enjoying this wild family drama, please take a quick second to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Your support means the world to me and helps me share these incredible stories. Ashley, Dad said, his voice dropping to that tone that used to mean we were in serious trouble as kids. Where's the money Jamie was holding? It was just sitting there, Ashley sputtered, her designer sunglasses sliding down her nose. She leaves money lying around and expects, "Where is the nursing school tuition?" Dad's voice boomed through the house like thunder. The color drained from Ashley's face faster than the money had drained from that jar. Her shopping bags suddenly seemed to weigh 1,000 pounds each. What? Ashley's voice came out as a squeak. She looked at me, then at Dad, then at the shopping bags surrounding her like evidence at a crime scene. "The $15,950, Dad said, pulling out his phone, "that I transferred to Jamie 2 months ago. The money that was going to pay for your nursing program at Riverside Community College. The program that starts next month. The one you begged me to support you through." I pulled out the folder I'd been keeping in my dresser, right next to where the money had been. Inside were bank statements, the transfer receipt from Dad, even a signed agreement about the money's purpose. I documented everything, partly because I'm a nurse and documentation is second nature, but mostly because I knew my sister. But she never told me, Ashley cried, tears starting to run down her cheeks, probably ruining the $100 makeup application she'd gotten at the mall. "That was the point," Dad said quietly. "I wanted to see if you could resist temptation if you didn't know money was specifically yours. Jamie saved her own money for 3 years without touching it. You couldn't last 3 hours. My friend Lisa chose that moment to walk in. We'd had plans to review bakery suppliers that evening. She took one look at the scene and pulled out her phone. Is this happening? Is this actually happening?" "Lisa, not now," I said, but she was already texting our friend group. Ashley tried everything. First came the tears, big dramatic sobs that had worked since she was 12. Then the anger. "You set me up. This is entrapment." Then bargaining. "I can return everything. Stores have return policies with tags attached," Lisa chimed in, pointing at Ashley's outfit, "which you're currently wearing." The neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, knocked on the door. "Is everything all right?" My security camera caught someone loading shopping bags earlier, and I wanted to make sure there wasn't a theft. The irony was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Ashley's attempt to return the items became the most pathetic parade I'd ever witnessed. She started with the Louis Vuitton store, marching in with the confidence of someone who hadn't worn the purse for 3 straight days. The sales associate, the same one who'd commissioned nearly $2,000 from her that morning, took one look at the worn handles and coffee stain on the bottom and called the manager. "Ma'am, this item has clearly been used," the manager said, in that tone reserved for people trying to pull fast ones. "We can't accept returns on damaged goods." "Damaged? It's barely been out of the store," Ashley protested, conveniently forgetting she'd posted 17 Instagram photos with it, including one at a wine bar where she'd spilled her Merlot. The Chanel boots, worn to a party that same night, complete with scuff marks from her dancing to prove she was living her best life. The Burberry coat had makeup stains on the collar. The culotte jumpsuit, which turned out to be a $3,000 designer onesie for adults, had been altered to fit her height. Dad laid out the new rules like a judge delivering a sentence. "You have 2 options, Ashley. 1. Get a job, any job, and pay back every penny to Jamie within 2 years while living here under strict rules. 2. Move out immediately and figure it out yourself." "But Daddy, there is no but Daddy anymore," he said, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Complete disappointment. Your mother would be ashamed. That hit harder than any punishment could have. Ashley actually staggered backward. The job hunt was even more entertaining than the returns. Ashley applied to all the cushy positions first. Marketing assistant at a boutique firm, social media manager for a fashion brand, personal shopping consultant. Every single one took one look at her empty resume and said no. She couldn't even get an interview at the places where she'd just spent my money. Finally, humiliated and desperate, she walked into Burger Barn, the same fast food place where she used to make fun of the workers, saying things like, "That's why you need college, so you don't end up flipping burgers." The manager, Tony, was a guy from our high school. Ashley had once publicly rejected him at prom, saying she didn't date future fry cooks. The karma was so perfect, I couldn't have scripted it better. "So, Ashley," Tony said, barely hiding his grin, "says here you have no work experience. Can you handle being on your feet for 8 hours?" Yes, she whispered. "Great. You start tomorrow. 4:30 a.m. shift. Don't be late." 3 weeks into Ashley's new career in food service, the transformation was remarkable. Her Instagram went from "living my best life," "Sulain blessed you my boss babe," to radio silence. Those designer bags she couldn't return sat in her closet, mocking her every time she put on her polyester uniform. The first time she got her paycheck, she just stared at it. "This is for 2 weeks?" she asked me, holding the stub like it was written in a foreign language. "Welcome to the real world," I said, not unkindly. "Now you know why I saved every penny. After taxes, this won't even cover one purse payment," she muttered. "No, but it'll cover $112 toward what you owe me," I replied, holding out my hand. The beautiful irony? While Ashley was learning what actual work meant, my bakery loan got approved. The bank was impressed by my savings history. Even though the money was gone, the 3 years of documented deposits showed discipline. Plus, Dad, finally seeing which daughter had real ambitions, co-signed the loan. Brad kept texting, watching this all unfold from the sidelines. "Your sister's working at Burger Barn? The same Ashley who said minimum wage workers were choosing to be poor?" Even my ex was getting satisfaction from this situation. The community rallied around me in ways I never expected. Mrs. Patterson started a Facebook post about my upcoming bakery. Dr. Chen from the hospital pre-ordered 6 months of birthday cakes. Lisa organized a fundraiser that raised another $3,000. Meanwhile, Ashley's friends, the ones who only hung around when she was buying drinks and picking up tabs with Dad's money, disappeared faster than my savings had. The best moment came when Ashley's sugar daddy boyfriend, Marcus, showed up in his leased BMW to take her shopping. She had to explain she was not only broke, but $15,000 in debt and working at a burger joint. He peeled out of our driveway so fast he left tire marks. Ashley watched from the window, still wearing her work uniform, smelling like French fry oil. 6 months later, Sweet Revenge Bakery had its grand opening. Yes, I named it that. Customers thought it was clever and edgy. My family knew better. The line stretched around the block. My signature item, humble pie, sold out in the first hour. Ashley, who'd been promoted to shift supervisor at Burger Barn, Tony said she'd become his most reliable employee, which shocked everyone. Had the day off. She stood in line like everyone else. No special treatment. When she reached the counter, she placed exact change down. "1 chocolate croissant, please. That'll be $3.50, I said. She counted out the exact amount in quarters and dimes, tip money from the burger joint. "I know it's not much toward what I owe, but I wanted to buy something from your store." With money I actually earned. It was the first time in 6 months I'd seen her genuinely smile. Dad came by during the lunch rush, and I've never seen him look prouder. "Your mother would have loved this," he said, and we both knew he wasn't just talking about the bakery. The twist nobody saw coming? Ashley was actually good at food service. Once she got over the humiliation, she discovered she had a talent for efficiency and customer service. Tony offered her assistant manager, but she turned it down. "Why?" I asked, genuinely surprised. "Because I finally got accepted to community college," she said, pulling out an acceptance letter. "I'm starting with just 2 classes because that's all I can afford while working. It'll take me 6 years to get my degree at this rate, but I'm going to earn it myself." Brad showed up that afternoon, flowers in hand, designer suit sharp as ever. "Jamie, Seeing you succeed like this, I realize what I lost. Brad, I interrupted. I have customers to serve. But Ashley's on break at Burger Barn if you want to catch up with someone. The look on his face was priceless. My regular customers applauded. 1 year later, Ashley had paid back $7,000. Every payment came with a little note. Earned the hard way or overtime hours or my favorite, skip designer coffee for a month. She was halfway through her first year of community college, majoring in business management. Her essay on how I learned the value of money the hard way won a small scholarship. She asked me to proofread it, and I'm not ashamed to say I cried. She wrote about watching me save for years, how she thought I was wasting my youth, only to realize I was building my future. The bakery had expanded to include catering, and I needed help with the books. Guess who turned out to have a real talent for accounting? Ashley, who'd learned to track every penny after living on minimum wage, became my part-time bookkeeper. I paid her fairly. No family discount, no special treatment. She wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Remember when you stole my money? I asked one evening as we closed up shop together. Best mistake I ever made, she said, which surprised me. If I hadn't hit rock bottom, I'd still be a spoiled brat waiting for handouts. Now I'm someone who earns things. Do you know how good that feels? I did. I really did. Dad had started a new tradition. Family dinners where Ashley and I split the cost. He'd sit back and watch us argue over the tip calculation, both of us determined to pay our exact share, and smile like he'd won the lottery. The designer bags and clothes Ashley couldn't return. She sold them online at a massive loss, using the money to pay for textbooks. The Louis Vuitton bag that started it all went for a quarter of what she paid. The buyer was Mrs. Patterson's daughter, who'd always admired it. Ashley hand-delivered it with a note, "May it bring you better karma than it brought me." Marcus, the ex-boyfriend, tried sliding back into her DMs when he saw her glow-up posts about college and work. She screenshotted his messages and posted them with the caption, "Reminder that someone who only wants you at your peak doesn't deserve you at all. Also, I'm too busy for boys who lease their personalities along with their cars." It went viral. Burger Barn actually gave her a bonus for the positive publicity. My bakery now employs 12 people. Ashley's repayment schedule is perfectly on track. She'll make the final payment next year, the same day she's projected to graduate with her associate's degree. Last week, she asked if she could buy into the bakery as a partner once her debt was paid. "With what money?" I asked. "The money I'll save over the next 2 years, she said, showing me a detailed financial plan. "I've run the numbers. If I keep living at home, maintain my current expenses, and take extra shifts during holidays, I can save $20,000 by graduation. You know that means more ramen noodles and no shopping sprees, right?" "Jamie," she said, dead serious, "I haven't shopping for fun in a year. You know what I bought myself for my birthday? A calculator for my accounting class, and I was excited about it." We both laughed until we cried. The morale of this story? Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's letting people face the consequences of their actions and watching them grow from it. Ashley stole $15,950 from me, but she gave me something worth more. A sister I can actually respect. And the sweetest part? Every dollar she pays back goes directly into a fund for her future wedding. She doesn't know it yet, but when she finally finds someone who loves her for her work ethic and not her designer bags, she's going to have the wedding of her dreams, paid for with money she earned, from the sister she learned to respect. Dad says Mom would be proud of both of us now. I think he's right. Although Mom probably would have hidden the money better in the first place. She knew Ashley way before any of us did. Oh, and Brad? He's still texting. But now I forward them to Ashley, who responds with pictures of her in her Burger Barn uniform saying, "New phone. Who decide?" Some revenges are sweet, but watching your spoiled sister become someone you're proud to call family, that's the sweetest revenge of all.